Good morning. I'm having a play in my craft room today. It's my happy place at the moment. I love creating with all the new things that have been coming out. I recently placed an order for some of the products in the Floral Delight Suite. I'll show you the products, but here's the page in the catalogue. It's actually page 33. It starts on page 33 and there's a couple of other pages after that, which has a whole suite of product. I think it's probably the largest suite in our new mini catalogue, but look at all that gorgeous yellow. It's just such a happy suite to play with because of the colour. And I think, as you play with it, you'll discover new things to do with the paper and the vellum. There's some really cute little bumblebee trinkets as well. Hi, Kath, how you going? And some gorgeous ribbon. And the great thing about it is that it all coordinates, so you don't have to think about what's going to match. You know that it's all going to go together beautifully. That's what I love about the suites. I'm going to flip the camera around and I'll show you what I'm making today. I wanted to show you the paper in particular. So I'm actually not using the stamp set. I'm using the Designer Series paper and the vellum and the bumblebee trinkets as well, and a couple of other dies that you probably have seen me play with before, just to create a fun shape. We're going to go with arches today. So for the card base, I just wanted to show you how to make a card base that is actually a little bit bigger than your normal card base. And I've got an A4 sheet here, so I'm just going to get my bone folder and I'm going to fold that. So it's folded in the middle. It's around about 15.5 centimetres in width when I folded it from the edge of the paper, to the middle, the fold line. So if I then go to my paper trimmer and I cut just there, I'll end up with a square card that looks like this. So it's around about 15.5 by 15.5. So that's the size of card that I want. Sometimes you need a larger card, right? Sometimes you need a card that is has a little bit more room to write in. So for example, if it's a thank you card or a farewell card, a workplace card, you will often have lots of people wanting to sign the card, and often in an average or normal size card, a C6 envelope size, there's not enough room for everyone to write a message. So sometimes I think larger cards are good. You can make your own envelopes as well to go around whatever size card you're needing an envelope for. So remember that you can still send these through the mail. They may end up being a large letter if they are, for example, this size, so they'll fit in a larger envelope that you can get at the post office. But yeah, the square ones may be able to go as a normal letter. Just ask at your post office. All right, so what I am going to do is grab the paper and to show you how gorgeous it is in real life. When you see it in the catalogue, you'll see the swatches there, and that's your Designer Series paper and your vellum. Now, you don't really get a sense of how beautiful this paper is until you see it until you see it in real life. And basically, I needed to see this so that I could play with it and work out how it worked together. I could see the colours were matching, but I know that was vellum and that was Designer Series paper. So as you know, vellum is see-through and it has different properties to paper. So let me just show you what they look like in real life. You can see I've done a little bit of playing with this already, but they're all double-sided, the Designer Series paper. And you've got some plainer designs on one side and some beautiful flowers on the other. And what I have done is I've just to get an idea of what the patterns I've got to play with, I flipped each one over so I can see both sides of the one sheet. And that always helps me to work out, well, what what am I going to use for a background? What am I going to maybe use as my focal point or my embellishment? And that's the larger images, obviously, which I've cut out, as you can see. But there are some really great backgrounds. So this one obviously is a bit plainer, and you've got your old olive background, which has got a little bit of texture on it. So that's the paper. Lots to play with there. And then the vellum is just gorgeous. You get 6 sheets of this vellum. I've used 2 patterns today. I'm going to use the white so that you can see the pattern. It's a bit hard to see vellum. As I said, it's see-through. So let me just show you. Can you see there? That's the, not Soft Sky. It's called Pool Party check or gingham. And you can see it there. But if you overlay it with different colours, so this is tone on tone, you see it's a little bit more subtle than it is on the white. And you could even layer it over, yellow and see what that looks like. It would take on a bit of a greeny tinge because, as you know, yellow and blue make green. So you can really play around with this as it's got the it's less opaque. And there are actually 2 sides to the vellum. So one side, I don't know if you can see it here, but one side has actually got the printed pattern on it, and the other side is the underside. And that's a little bit softer. It's a bit subtle with this one. You can probably see it better with the floral patterns. Let me just grab one of those. I'll see if I can show you. So I think that's the printed, no, this is the printed side. So if I hold it up, you can see it there. That's the printed side. And then if I flip, that is the underside. So it is slightly softer, slightly less pronounced, a little bit more of a background than a foreground. You could cut some of these flowers out as well and overlay them on top of some plainer designer series paper if you wanted to. There's lots of different options with the vellum as well. Okay, so we have our card base. That's our card base there. And I'm going to grab one of my new favourite bundles, which is the Everyday Arches bundle. And this comes with a set of dies, and I'll show you the dies. They're all the same shape, but they're just different sizes, and they're layered. You can layer them, so you can put a small one with a larger one. You can do like a telescope type look on your card, just having the slightly different sizes, as many layers as you want, really. And I also like the detail on these. There's a little bit of a pattern around the edge just to give a bit of interest. So you'll get 10 dies in the set, and the matching stamp set is great as well. It's got greetings for all different occasions, and you will be able to use it to create a greeting on any card for any occasion. It's also got some images, which again you can use on any occasion. And I like that you can pair these shapes with almost anything. So I'm going to be pairing them with the vellum and the designer series paper today. And I've already picked out my 2 sizes. So I've gone with the smaller one and the largest one. So here's my 2 sizes. Now I've already cut the larger one, but just want to show you how I cut the smaller one. I've made 2 cards actually. So what I did was I cut the 2 smaller ones out at the same time. Because it's a simple shape, you can do that. You can actually layer two bits of paper. So in this case, it's vellum and designer series paper. And you can cut them both out at once. So one is for the card that I'm making on the video today, and the other is the one that I cut for the card I made earlier. So I'm going to show you that one as well. So I'm just running that through my mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. I like how the little dies fit in this. You can sort of go up to the medium-sized die and it'll still fit on this platform. So there's my 2. The one I'm using is this one. So I'm going to put this one to the side over there. So that's all my cutting done because I've already cut the larger one. And I have stuck it onto the front of my card with just a little bit of Tombow. So I'm going to layer my card like this, and to work out where my greeting's going to go, I'm not going to stick this down yet. I'm just going to approximate where it will go. And the greeting I'm using is one of the ones that sort of arches over the top. So this one is probably the largest greeting, and it's going to fit perfectly around the top of this little arch here. But I need to make sure I've got enough room for my arch. So I'm just going to place it there, and I'm going to take my little arch and just move it to where I think it needs to go. So that's good. And then I'm going to leave it there. So that's going to be my guide. I haven't stuck it down yet. I'm going to use my embossing buddy. So just keeping your finger on the little arch that's not stuck down. And I'll open up my Versamark. So this is our sticky ink, which helps the embossing powder to stick so that you can melt it in place. And then your embossing powder, it looks amazing. If you've not done heat embossing, you need to give it a try. It is so much fun. So I'm just going to make sure all of that transfers really well. And I think I'll emboss this in gold because gold is the colour of our little bumblebees as well. So that's going to coordinate nicely. Let's see if I can get this back in. We do have trays, but sometimes I don't have enough room on my video space to have my trays. But don't forget, we've got the embossing trays to keep everything tidy. But that's pretty good. So there is my greeting. Now I just need to heat that with my heat tool. So bear with me for a second. Just going to get rid of a little bit of this loose powder. There we go. There we go. Beautiful. And because we had it in the right spot, see how perfectly that little arch fits in there. Now with vellum, you don't want to actually put wet glue on there because it's going to sort of bend and buckle. So what I've done is I've cut out, this is how I'm adhering everything. I've actually cut out some flowers just using my paper snips. So I've cut around the flowers and then I've come in again to capture the detail of the flowers. And the secret to this is just leave about 1 millimeter of the background around the flower, just to set it off against the background. That gives it a bit more definition when it's on the card. So I don't know if you can see, I haven't come right up to the line of the yellow. I've left a little bit of the blue background. So I've done that with my flowers, and I popped some mini Stampin' dimensionals on the back. These are great for the smaller little tips of your cut pieces, your fussy cut pieces. When it comes to these smaller pieces, you can leave those free because they're a bit too small to cut a little piece of the dimensional. So just leave that free and that will be fine. I'm going to adhere the flowers so that they overlap slightly off the edge of the vellum, and you've still got the edges of the vellum arch just showing there. But if you want to, you can come in with a glue dot, and I'll just grab my glue dots here. I just get one on the end of my paper snips. These are handy for that as well. and find the first little dot here. Here we go. Can probably get rid of that. And then, so you can't see it, I'm going to just put it under that first flower petal there, so that that's not going to flap around anymore. And there is my card front. I'm really liking the dimension there. I like how this sort of stands out, but you don't have to put, as I said, you don't have to put dimensionals on the back of those smaller fronds, those little detailed parts. Now it just needs a little bit of bling, so I'm going to bring in maybe 2 bumblebees. These are the trinkets, that tiny bee trinkets, not bumblebee trinkets. They're the tiny bee trinkets. You remember we used to have ones that were called bumblebee trinkets, and they were the larger ones. I think I've still got a few of them. But these ones are smaller, and they're very, very cute. So what I do to put them on my project is I roll up a glue dot and I straddle it across the wingspan of the bee, like that, so that you can't see the dot behind. And I'm just going to pop one up the top here, and I'll put the other one little tiny little things. I probably should use my take your pick tool with the putty on the end. That would be an idea, wouldn't it? That's perfect for picking up small trinkets. Okay, so there's my glue dot on the back, and I'm just going to pop one here. I think I might go a third. They're so cute. I think we'll do a third bee. Yeah, really gorgeous. Just the detail on them is beautiful. There we go. I'll put one on that. Whoops. Put one on the card. The pool party. And there is our card. I want to show you the one that I prepared earlier, which is using slightly different colours in the background and different paper. I've gone with the more detailed designer series paper, so I've gone with the sprays of flowers, and I've just cut around them. And this one, the arches are also opposite. So if you have a look, the difference is I've used the vellum for the large arch and some of the plainer designer series paper for the smaller one. And because it's the vellum, I've used the basic white cardstock in the background, same size card, 15.5 by 15.5. And I've also stamped the birds in the background because I thought they were very pretty, these little swallows. And because it's a fairly plain background, I thought it just needed some interest. So I've stamped the birds. You can just see them behind the vellum there as well. But that, I think the white really offsets the vellum. And yeah, and you could use any combination, really. There's lots and lots of different combinations you could use. So if you're wanting to make some larger cards, I would suggest you get one A4 sheet, fold it in half, and then cut that, as I said, to 15.5. Then you've got a really good size square card, and look how much space you've got to write in the middle. I hope you enjoyed watching today. I'm going to upload this onto YouTube, and all of the ingredients and hints and tips will be at the bottom of that video, as well as some links to my online store. I'll flip the camera back around, and I hope you have a great day. I hope whatever you do today, you get to do something creative, because yeah, it always makes me feel good if I've created something. It quiets my mind down. That's what it does, and it's really nice to have a good result at the end, something that you're happy with. Okay, I will leave you, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.